Welcome to Beyond the Outback, the podcast where we explore the real Australia beyond the myths, stereotypes, and sensationalized headlines. I'm Emily.
And I'm Tom. Today we're tackling probably the biggest, most persistent myth about Australia, that absolutely everything here is actively trying to kill you.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I have to confess something to our listeners. I've been putting off visiting Australia for years because of this exact fear. Like, whenever I mention it to friends, the first thing they say is, Emily, aren't you terrified of the deadly spiders?
Right, we get that all the time.
Or they'll send me these viral TikTok videos, the ones with massive huntsman spiders crawling across car windshields, or snakes literally coming out of people's toilets. And I'm thinking, how do people even live there?
Those viral videos really don't do us any favours, do they? But here's what I find fascinating. I've lived here all my life, and so have 25 million other Australians, and we are doing just fine.
That's true.
We're not all walking around in full body armour, checking under our beds every night for deadly creatures. We go to work, we barbecue on weekends, kids play in backyards.
Okay, but be honest with me, Tom. Have you personally ever encountered any of these supposedly deadly animals?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen plenty of spiders, encountered a few snakes over the years, lived near beaches with sharks.
And you're still here to tell the tale.
Still here, still in one piece. And that's exactly what we want to explore today. Are these fears realistic, or are they completely blown out of proportion?
All right, let's dive into this. And I want to start with what seems to be the biggest fear factor for most people, snakes. Because Australia has some of the most venomous snakes in the world, right?
That's absolutely true. We do. Take the eastern brown snake, for example. It's fast, it can be aggressive when it feels threatened, and its venom is genuinely dangerous.
Okay, so when you say aggressive, what does that actually look like? Like, are we talking about a snake that will chase you down?
No, no. When I say aggressive, I mean they'll stand their ground if they feel cornered, but they're not hunting humans. They live mainly along the eastern coast in woodlands, scrublands, places like that.
So not in cities?
Very rarely in suburban areas. I mean, I grew up in Brisbane, lived in Sydney for years, never saw an eastern brown in a residential area.
That's actually reassuring. What about the inland taipan? I've heard that one has the most potent venom in the world.
It does, technically, the most potent venom of any land snake on the planet. But here's the thing that'll blow your mind.
Tom, you're really not helping my anxiety levels here?
Wait for it. It lives in some of the most remote desert areas in Central Australia. It's incredibly shy. It actively tries to avoid any contact with humans. And get this, there has never been a recorded human death from an inland taipan bite.
Wait, hold on. Never? But it has the most potent venom?
Never. Zero recorded fatalities. And this is exactly where the whole Australian reputation gets completely divorced from reality.
Okay, so what about the tiger snake? Where do they fit into this picture?
Tiger snakes are interesting. They're found near water around Melbourne, Adelaide, that sort of area. I actually encountered one when I was a kid.
Oh, really? Tell me about that. What happened?
I was maybe 10 years old fishing with my dad at a billabong outside Melbourne. Spotted this snake sunning itself on the opposite bank. My dad just said, "Right, we'll fish further down the way."
That's it? You just moved?
That's it. The snake wasn't interested in us. We weren't interested in bothering the snake. Everyone went about their day. That's how most encounters work. Mutual avoidance.
So they're not actively hunting humans down. But I have to ask the practical question. What should someone do if they encounter a snake? Like, if I'm hiking and I see one.
Stop, back away slowly, give it plenty of space. Don't try to move it. Don't try to kill it. Most snake bites happen when people try to handle them or get too close.
Right. And if someone does get bitten, what's the reality? Are they just done for?
Not at all. This is where modern medicine really comes into its own. We have incredibly effective antivenoms for all our dangerous snakes. Our emergency medical system is quite good, especially in populated areas.
How quickly do you need to get treatment?
Obviously, the sooner the better, but you're not talking minutes. Most snakebite victims have hours to get proper treatment. The key is getting to a hospital that stocks the right antivenom.
So what are the actual numbers? How many people die from snake bites each year in Australia? Because in my mind, I'm imagining hundreds.
Across all of Australia, with 25 million people, on average, 0 to 2 deaths per year from venomous snake bites.
0 to 2 for the entire continent?
For the entire continent, you're statistically more likely to be struck by lightning, more likely to win certain lotteries.
That is dramatically lower than I expected. Okay, spiders. This might be even worse for me personally because I have a genuine spider phobia. Tell me about the Sydney funnel web.
Right, The Sydney funnel web. That name alone sounds like something from a horror movie, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. What am I dealing with here?
It's a large, black, aggressive looking spider that lives around Sydney and the surrounding areas. The males are particularly concerning because they wander around looking for mates, especially during the warmer months.
So they actually leave their webs and go hunting?
Not hunting for people, hunting for female spiders, but they might end up in swimming pool filters, garden sheds, or, yeah, occasionally someone's shoe.
Oh my God. Okay, so what happens if one bites you? Because this has got to be where the death count gets scary.
Their bite can be very serious, absolutely. But here's what's going to surprise you. There hasn't been a death from a Sydney funnel web spider bite since 1981.
1981? That's over 40 years ago.
The antivenom was developed in the early 1980s and it's incredibly effective. There's actually an interesting story behind it. They collect venom from wild male funnel webs to make the antivenom.
Wait, how do they collect venom from live spiders? That sounds terrifying.
There are actually volunteers who catch them and bring them to the Australian Reptile Park. They have this whole program. People bring in funnel webs they find around their homes.
People voluntarily catch these deadly spiders?
Yeah, it's quite something. Shows you how routine these encounters actually are for locals.
What about redback spiders? I've heard they're everywhere.
Redbacks are the black spiders with a distinctive red marking. They're related to black widow spiders, if that gives you a reference point.
Great, so they're definitely dangerous then.
Their bite can make you quite unwell, yeah. You'll find them in suburban areas, garden sheds, outdoor toilets, underdecking, that sort of thing.
So if I'm staying in an Airbnb or hotel, should I be checking under the bed, in closets?
In a hotel? No, you'd be fine. They prefer quiet, undisturbed areas. Hotels have regular cleaning, foot traffic, not ideal redback habitat.
Okay, that's reassuring. But what's the death rate for redback bites?
There's been one confirmed death from a redback spider since the 1950s, one death in over 70 years.
One death since the 1950s? This is completely shattering my preconceptions here.
Most spider bites in Australia are just uncomfortable. Like a bee sting, bit of swelling, maybe some pain. Not pleasant, but not deadly.
Okay, let's talk sharks. Because every single movie or TV show about Australia has some terrifying shark attack scene. Jaws, but with an Australian accent.
You've hit on something important there. You can thank movies like Jaws for fundamentally changing how people worldwide think about sharks.
Right, the whole idea of this rogue shark that's specifically hunting humans.
But that's not how sharks actually behave. When attacks do occur, they're almost always cases of mistaken identity. You're on a surfboard. From below, you might look like a seal or turtle.
That's still pretty terrifying, though. I mean, it doesn't matter to me if the shark thinks I'm a seal when it's biting me.
Fair point. But here are the actual numbers, and I think they'll surprise you. Australia averages about 1 to 3 fatal shark attacks per year.
1 to 3 for the whole country? That seems really low, actually.
It is really low. And here's some perspective that might help. Drowning kills around 250 people per year in Australian waters.
So the water itself is about 100 times more dangerous than what's swimming in it.
Exactly. Rip currents, big waves, people getting caught in conditions beyond their ability. That's the real danger at Australian beaches.
So if I'm visiting Australia and want to go to the beach, what should I actually be worried about? What are the practical safety things?
Swim between the flags at patrolled beaches. The surf lifesavers know the local conditions, where the rips are, what the swell's like. Don't swim alone, especially if you're not confident in the water.
What about those famous rip currents? I've heard they're everywhere.
They are common, but they're predictable if you know what to look for. That's why swimming between the flags is so important. The lifeguards position those flags away from rips.
All right, let's talk about the other wildlife. Because surely there's something in Australia that's genuinely dangerous on a regular basis.
Well, kangaroos can be dangerous, but probably not in the way you're imagining.
How so? I'm picturing some massive kangaroo attacking someone.
Car accidents. They hop onto roads, especially around dawn and dusks when they're most active. A big red kangaroo is basically 2 meters of solid muscle.
Right.
Hit one at highway speed and it'll seriously damage your vehicle and potentially injure you. It's like hitting a very large, very solid person.
So it's more of a traffic hazard than a predator situation. What about face-to-face encounters?
Most kangaroos, Ikechu, will hop away if they see you coming. The males can be territorial during breeding season, but attacks on humans are quite rare.
What about wombats? Those are the cute, chubby ones, right?
They look cute, but they're built like furry tanks, all muscle and bone, square shaped. Hit one with your car, and you'll definitely know about it.
But they're not aggressive toward people?
Not at all. They're actually quite shy and spend most of their time underground in burrows. You're more likely to see evidence of them cube shaped droppings than the actual animal.
Cube-shaped droppings? That's oddly specific.
Yeah, they're the only animal that produces cube shaped poop. One of those weird Australian animal facts. Then you've got possums in the cities.
Are Australian possums different from American opossums?
Completely different animals, actually. Australian possums are marsupials, much cuter looking. They're basically furry garbage collectors. They'll raid your bins, make noise in your roof.
But not dangerous?
Completely harmless to humans. Annoying, maybe, but not dangerous. And then if you visit Rottnest Island off Perth, you'll meet quokkas.
Those are the ones that always look like they're smiling in photos, right? They've become quite the social media sensation.
Exactly. They're basically living teddy bears. Tourists absolutely love taking selfies with quokkas. They're so docile and friendly looking, they've become a tourism drawcard.
Definitely not on the dangerous list then. What about blue-tongue lizards? That name sounds vaguely threatening.
They can look pretty intimidating when they open their mouth and flash that bright blue tongue. It's quite startling the first time you see it.
But they're harmless too?
Completely harmless. That bright blue tongue is just a defensive display to scare off predators. They're not venomous, they don't bite, just trying to look scary.
What about crocodiles? Those have got to be genuinely dangerous.
Saltwater crocodiles are absolutely dangerous, no question about it. They're apex predators, they're huge, and they will attack humans.
Finally, something genuinely deadly.
But here's the thing. They only live way up north. Far North Queensland, Northern Territory, that sort of area.
So if someone's visiting Sydney, Melbourne, the typical tourist destinations,
No crocodiles to worry about. You'd have to make a specific effort to get into crocodile country.
this is really putting everything in perspective for me. So let's step back and look at the big picture. What are Australians actually more likely to die from?
Motor vehicle accidents kill over 1,000 people per year in Australia. Heart disease, cancer, stroke, the usual health issues that affect people everywhere in the developed world.
So basically the same things that kill people in my country.
Exactly. Even household accidents, falls from ladders, slipping in the shower, workplace injuries, they kill far more people than all our venomous animals combined.
So statistically speaking, my bathroom at home is more dangerous than the entire Australian wilderness.
That's actually a pretty accurate way to put it. But here's what's fascinating about human psychology. Driving a car feels normal to us, doesn't it?
Right, I drive every day.
We understand that risk. We've made peace with it. But a snake bite feels exotic and terrifying, even though it's statistically much less likely to happen.
Because it's so unfamiliar to most of us. It's not part of our daily experience.
Exactly. Our brains are wired to fear rare, dramatic events more than common, mundane ones. It's the same reason people are terrified of flying but not driving, even though flying is statistically much safer.
That makes complete sense. So what would your practical advice be to someone like me who's been nervous about visiting Australia because of all these wildlife fears?
Use the same common sense you'd use anywhere. Don't try to handle snakes or spiders. Watch where you're stepping when you're bushwalking. Check your shoes in the morning if you've left them outside.
What about at the beach?
Swim between the flags at patrolled beaches. The surf lifesavers are there for a reason. They know the local conditions where it's safe to swim.
And in cities?
You'd be dealing with exactly the same urban risks as any other major city. Traffic, maybe the occasional pickpocket, normal city stuff.
This conversation has honestly been life-changing for me. My whole perception of Australia has shifted dramatically. The reality is so different from the reputation.
That's exactly what we were hoping to achieve. The reputation has taken on a life of its own, hasn't it? It's become this kind of mythology.
And I think I understand now why it persists. These are rare, dramatic events that feel terrifying, even though they almost never happen.
The main theme really is that wildlife is wild, not hostile. These animals are just trying to get on with their lives, same as us. They're not plotting to attack tourists.
Well, to wrap this up, yes, Australia has some dangerous animals, but the actual risk to visitors is incredibly small. With modern medicine, effective antivenoms, and basic common sense, you're going to be absolutely fine.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And honestly, you're far more likely to have an amazing time seeing some of the most unique and incredible animals on Earth.
Thanks for joining us on Beyond the Outback. I know this episode has certainly changed my perspective. And I hope it's been helpful for all of you who might have similar fears about visiting Australia.
Don't let unfounded fears keep you from experiencing this incredible country and its amazing wildlife.
If this episode helped bust some myths for you, please give us a like, and we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's something else about Australia you've always wondered about? Don't forget to subscribe for more myth-busting episodes about the real Australia, and thanks for listening.